It is the season of politicking in Nigeria when the use of various devices by politicians to check opponents is rife. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has dismissed a suit filed by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, against the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Bola Tinubu, that of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, over the use of placeholders running mates. In the judgment, Justice Donatus Okorowo ruled that the suit is unknown to law, hence an abuse of court process. Justice Okorowo said the court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the matter and also held that the suit did not disclose any reasonable course of action against the respondent. Jide? Okay, let me quickly take this. Brother, when we come back, we conclude on this. Please stay with us. Welcome back. So, somebody from the People's Democratic Party thought he could use this as a loophole to stop the Labour Party and the All Progressive Congress candidates.
Yes, and in the words of the Judge, Justice Donatus Okoronkwo, when a court finds out that a suit is an abuse of court process, the court has the right to dismiss it. That's what the judge said. You see, they wanted an order of the court compelling INEC to disqualify both Tinubu and Obi based on the fact that they used surrogate vice presidential candidates or placeholder, as they are now commonly called. But what they failed to realize is whether they called them placeholder or surrogate candidate or whatever name, there are two deadlines that you must meet before the election. The first one, submission. The second deadline is substitution. The law is clear that you can substitute. But the person that has been chosen must write to INEC saying, look, I'm not interested anymore. I've decided to give up my candidacy. Now, once he gives that up, once he gives up his candidacy, you are permitted to replace. As long as that window for substitution has not closed, whether it is called surrogate vice presidential candidate or placeholder, you are permitted to replace. And politicians are not fools. Masari, for example, was the vice presidential candidate. Surrogate.
Yes, for the APC.
For the APC.
And Doyo Hupe was the one for the Labour Party.
For Labour Party. Politicians will have done their homework well. It's not going to be a case of, oh, no, I'm not going. No, I would rather stay. You would even have signed, they will have a copy of a signed, taking that, look, at the appointed time, I will give up that position. So, since there is window for substitution, what Tinubu and Obi have done is to simply exercise their right to substitute within the time frame that the INEC guidelines and the what's it called, Electoral Act stipulates. As long as the deadline had not expired, there's nothing that they've done wrong. This is a bloody waste of the cost time. And I'm happy that the case was dismissed just like that. To imagine that INEC, that a court will force INEC to disqualify, you know what they are even saying? They are saying if Tinubu and Obi will not use those earlier running mates, then they should be disqualified. Which court will grant you that kind of prayer now? I don't understand. When what they did was within the time frame
the ambits of the law
that was allocated.
And when you look at it, by tomorrow now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, they will release the list, the names of those who will participate in next year's election and everything. And when they were talking about these placeholders and everything, I don't know what the People's Democratic Party, what they were thinking, that if they have these two main candidates disqualified, that will just pave way for them.
Yeah, politicians are eternal optimists, and nothing is stupid when it comes to grabbing power. So I'm sure somebody must have brought this idea forward, maybe listening to or watching it on social media, and thought that we could go to court with this. Because if you remember during that period, a lot of
arguments,
inanities were going on social media about the
people don't read the law before.
They don't care. They just want their opinion heard, and they become superstars for nothing. So we know this has no merit, but the NBA at a point was moving against inanities like this. Because the current president, Akpata, don't forget, one of the things he ran on was to ensure that lawyers are not used for things like this when it comes to elections. I'm not really amused because every election cycle, something like this will still occur. Somebody somewhere will just assume they have the power to do whatever they want and then go out to sue. The court must be decisive on dismissing cases like this. And the lawyers brought it forward must be sanctioned.
We are still going to witness ridiculous and frivolous cases ahead of 2023. Lawyers will be briefed, and lawyers will want to make their money, and politicians will want to,
we've been in this situation before where points of law that are so clear, even to we laymen, we journalists, laymen that we are. You will see a journalist abuse, you see a lawyer abuse us, call us names, say that we've been bribed, this and that, over something that
black and white
is written in English that a toddler can understand. Yes. And then when they now lose, the same lawyer who was abusing you, he will simply recoil into his cocoon as if he's done nothing wrong.
Even they have the audacity. Most of them question the judgment of Supreme Court. They will say, go and reverse yourself, Supreme Court.
That was why Justice Abuja burst into tears at the court, that she never knew a day could come when a lawyer, experienced lawyer,
will come before the court
asking the court
to reverse itself.
When even the law forbids the Supreme Court from reversing itself. It's there. But you still...
It's a canon.
It's there that you cannot, a decision that you're taking, you cannot reverse
That's the final court.
It's even unconstitutional for the Supreme Court to reverse itself. But a lawyer with many years of experience will come before him,
collect that kind of brief,
and say, oh yeah, Supreme Court.
Reverse yourself.
The judge burst into tears. It was the height of it for her. That, what could have led to this? But see, even the lawyers who went, some lawyers came up with this suit. Yeah. Are you saying they are incapable of reading what the law says and understanding clearly that these two gentlemen, if you like, you may say they are not gentle, merely exercised their rights as provided by the law?